Morning, everybody. Slightly late here. Sorry about that. Slightly late. Hope you had a great weekend and feeling refreshed coming to the charts. Let's dive into it because I'm running behind. Make sure we're all prepared. So today, first thing to note, no news day. All right, no news day today, and there is lots of news and big impact coming news later in the week. So it's very, very possible we go into sort of a liquidity building stage today. It doesn't have to be bullish liquidity, but very, very good chance we do that. Looking at the daily, what are we looking at? Well, actually, let's start with the weekly. Weekly, you can see previous week explored outside all-time highs, traded back inside, closing with a inside bar mixed signal. All right, slightly outside there, but near enough. Everything else, the rest of the range was inside. All right, so we continue to trap in here. Now, it is possible they want to hold this level and do this move. Very, very possible with the big news events. One thing I'm looking at is this huge bullish candle, all right, where we broke out. We've never tapped back in to check that any of this is firm down here or deeper or hold just in. So I'm watching it and considering it for later in the week. But everything so far remains bullish, right? Upside, we've got everything that we want right now. 5-day, 20-day, and room to the Bollinger Bands. All right, so just be aware of that. Moving down to the daily. We have this flat top, which we've been unable to break out of every time we've come up here. 1, 2, 3 times sold. Even on Friday, we had an attempt, sold. Okay, and we're just basing down towards here. There is support structure down here into the 800s. If they let go of that, we probably go sort of 700 and maybe try and run these. All right, so if we get stuck this week, it's possible we come down into here. Do we find bids? Do we wash it under and do this? Or does this then turn into supply for a deeper move down, fill some of these imbalances? So these are all things I am considering this week, especially Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. All right, most of my attention would be on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week. Moving over. All right, just follow me on these charts for a second. Hourly. You can see here, triple bottom, 1, 2, 3, W pattern, gap up. That sets the high last week. And then all we've done since is this. All right, this is all we're doing right now. And nothing has changed. All right, we are gapping down overnight. And see this new week opening gap will take us up to sort of 940, let's call it. There is potential for some kind of downtrend and bull flag here. It is also arguable that we are starting to do one of these. Okay, but nothing is confirmed because right now we're holding a higher low and we're just building internal liquidity. This is tricky to trade, like we know. All right, so just be aware of that. From an hourly point of view, we can continue to do exactly what happened here until it's got enough built for whatever it's trying to do. All right, whatever it's trying to do, it's going to abuse these people at some point. Probably more likely Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to do that. But who knows? It's possible we go risk off or risk on today. 30-minute chart, you can just see the same stuff. We can put a volume. All right, so Friday, we left trap volume up towards 975. So one area I'd be interested in is basically this gap fill, which is edge of value area low for a few times and a old value area high. If we reject, okay, 930, what are we calling this? Let's just call it 930, 940. If we push up and reject, there is potential for a move back down. If we start getting heavy at that point and we start washing Globex, and we have support structure below that it might want to drift down and aim for. If we start reclaiming above, all right, you can see it's trying to do that kind of quasi. If we start reclaiming here and going sideways, then it's trying to build to take these guys out. All right, so there is everything on the table right now. It is not directional at the moment. Higher time frame like daily and stuff says potential to go higher, but we are in a sideways range. Do not forget that. Moving into the main chart. All right, you can see exactly the same stuff. Overnight, there's your gap down for those interested. There's your Sunday gap. Where did we drift into? Higher time frame demand that we keep holding. There's your double bottom. and here's the push up. All right, so they might go gap fill. If they reclaim gap fill, they might go for up here. If they reject this, remember in value area low, there's a possible rotation. So definitely interested in that. Let's have a look at the other indexes. How long we got? Got to get through this quickly at this point. Have a look at the mag. Apple weak underneath previous day low. If it keeps rejecting that, that's going to be a problem. Microsoft just right inside the range, big range there. It's just sat right in the middle of it previous day. Amazon trying to put in that bullish pattern to get back up towards previous day highs, but again, just inside the range. Goog, same story, inside the range, trying to put in a bullish pattern at the moment. Meta, inside the range, looks pretty strong in a downtrend until it breaks out of this and does this. We're not thinking bullish on Meta. Nvidia, holding that old structure still. Big breakout last week, trying to double bottom into it to maybe do this. Break down into this, and we go sideways. Then we use the liquidity to go lower. So that's sort of key decision points across the market so far. That's Nvidia, Tesla. Pretty strong. Back up. This is what we talked about down here, isn't it? All these days ago when everyone said this is dying. This is support structure. We get back up here. We build this. We go back to the upside on Tesla. Let's have a quick look at ES. ES is the same story right now. It's just trapped inside range, folks. All right, we move this to a 10-minute chart or a 15-minute chart so you can see it. It's the same story as NQ. This old resistance becomes support, and this is resistance, and here's your range. All right, so until we get outside of this or outside of this, we probably just have more chop. What's left? We can have a look at the SPY. Same story. You can see the same story here. There's your breakout last week. Peaked the high, washed back in. Now, if this is a failed breakout, God, that's a horrible drawing. If this is a failed breakout and we start to get weak, then we're going to see downside pressure on the market. Same story for Qs. If this was the failed breakout, we might see downside pressure on the market. It's going to need to prove itself. What can we use for thesis for that? We'll be watching this little bad boy here. And it has put in that bottoming pattern. So remember, VIX is washed down. There's the trap low. And we are trying to do this at the moment. So if we start seeing VIX break out and doing this, then we're going to know this market's probably ready to go risk off at that point. One thing I just have a quick look at is the Dixie has been in a sell for a long time. Just want to see where it's at. Yeah, big level here, the Dixie. You can see here, we broke this sort of 100 range and we're coming back down into these old levels. If it can't hold this, all of you trading crypto, this is what you want to see. You want to see this happen, and then you get your monster crypto run probably at that point. Same with gold. You'll get that monster gold run if it does. That gold looks great. Looks great. All right, so you should be prepared or somewhat prepared from here. Zoom this back in. We can have a quick look at the book. Liquidity sat above right now. Let's make this bigger. There we go. 22,932s, 940s, 950s. I'm just looking if there's anyone giant on the book. Let's have a look at the other one. Zoom out a minute. All right, biggest orders currently, passive orders are to the downside. 860 and 800. All right, 860 and 800. Those are the biggest passive orders on the book so far this morning. Remember, we're just pre-market, so no huge players on the book yet. And let's see who's here in chat. Morning, everyone. Morning, Miguel, Jeff, Ryan, Brandon, Thumper, Jesse, Richard, Botrix. Oh, Botrix, my bot, yeah. John Lucan, JD Florida Man, ERF, Peter, Raphael, Glenn, Trentry, Trader Don. I love it when Mondays come around, new trading week. Love what you do, and you'll never have to work a day in your life. Yes, quite right, quite right. Marek, good morning. Coop, Firewater, Willie Williams, Ken, Bart, Aaron. I'm going to turn that off because it's going to be loud all day. Otherwise, that's my big orders on NQ. Eva, Tim V, Beetle, Christy, Willa. Trump is supposed to make a Russia announcement today. Oh, I'm sure he'll be talking. Can't keep that guy out of the news. And Kim W. Good morning, everyone. Hopefully I caught everyone there. See if I can pop this chat out. There we go. Let's see a bit more. Morning, DK. I am having issues with my mouse again here. All right, market opening up here in 1 minute. Good luck, everybody. Nice and slow this morning. Monday morning, trapped inside. Don't do anything stupid. I use a wired mouse, JD. So I wonder if it's just coming to the end of its life here. Hopefully not, but it started playing up last week, didn't it? So might be time for a new one. All right, 10 seconds, folks. Big drive up at the open. Show you on the right chart. There we go. Closing that gap. All right, new week opening gap now closed, officially closed, coming up to previous week close right here. Technically for me, I've got previous week close at 9:59, somewhere around here. Yeah, this mouse is not enjoying itself right now. It's going to make teaching very, very hard and executing very, very hard. Here we go. Let's just see how we go. Let it calm down. The gap has now been filled. Trying to zoom into my other screens here. That rotation off that old bullish demand block turned up overnight. All right, and then you got your first high low here, and now we've gap filled. So if you were long this morning, congratulations. Make sure you are taking a partial into this. Let's get an anchor on before I forget. Oh, where's my anchor? There we go. All right, gap filled. Previous week open, now tagged as well. So hourly coming back up to its old downtrend here, folks. All right, high time frame chart, hourly coming back up to this old downtrend. Remember, we've got lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. This can be another lower high versus 23.22. Yeah, I use everything wired. Keyboard wired, mouse wired. They all have Bluetooth features, but I don't use them. Mouse wired, internet wired. Just letting this calm down for a minute. If you're wondering why, it's Monday morning. I'm not feeling 100%, not sleeping well right now with what's going on with my dog. I think we're going to have some complications, unfortunately. So if I jump off early this morning, I'll leave the stream on, but if I have to take a call, it'll just be with the vet. So just bear with me. Let's have a look at the book on ES. Where's all the liquidity there? Sellers into 295, 296, 300. And your thicker buyers really are down by 6283. Quick look at the mag. Tesla 2.8% up, 2.80% up. Nvidia over 0.5% down. Meta 0.75% up. Google 1.5% up. Amazon flat. Microsoft 0.25% down. Apple 0.61% down. So mixed bag. It's very possible this is a no trade day given that there's no big news events today and everything's waiting right now. Very, very possible. Nvidia with a strong sell out the gate, by the way, folks, coming back down to its previous day low currently. So have we just gap filled to go lower at this point? That's the question. Is the market going to start rotating, or are we going to catch bids on these flow zones and come and test this old high kind of level on an hourly? Time will tell. Some strong selling coming in here on the tape, coming back down to Friday's anchored VWAP, which is 917. So into flow zones, Friday's anchored VWAP, higher time frame algo. Let's see how we act here. It's a long view a little bit. A decent push up, filling that gap and getting slapped on that high time frame trend line like we talked about. All right, just got absolutely hammered in here. Oh, if you let me draw it in here so far. So here's a move. Do push up, hammered in there. Does it perform a higher low and start squeezing like this, or are we about to just roll over the whole thing? Or maybe we do nothing. Maybe we just continue what we did last week. That's also possible. So strong selling here underneath the New York Open, starting to let go here. This is previous week's VWAP here, previous day, sorry. VWAP here, right here. Just trying to be patient. Don't want to get caught in something right now. Just going to grab my water, which I left next door. Be right back. All right, holding the flow zones, back to New York Open. Nvidia trying to catch a bid at and around previous day lows here. So complete mixed bag here, folks. Not surprising for me, given the lack of news today. So bull flag hit on these flow zones, dips holding. That was previous week, or Friday's anchor VWAP around here. They're now trying to come back up for these highs. And this is all internal range. Remember to make sure you're zooming out and understand where you are. Can we build liquidity to match this and complete this? Can we do one of these? Is the question right now. If we reject this, then this is just a retest and they'll reattempt to hit the lows, which why it's exactly why I'm being patient right now. Don't want to start the week off with a poor trade in a poor location. Just want to kind of give it a minute. What's going on with the cricket then? I saw we had them for 8. Need to bowl these lot out. Oh no, they're creeping. 136 for 8. Just need to go and attack Bumrah and take the tail enders out, and we're good. That would be an incredible for anyone that watches. It would be an incredible performance to hold such a low score. Very impressive. Oh, I've lost my chat. There it is. Morning, Dre. All right, back under New York Open again here. Spiders look like they're trying to build some form of flag to move higher. QQQ looks little less sure about itself. Looking at like a 5-minute and 15-minute chart at the moment. Still got time to close this 15-minute bar, but at the moment looks a little less sure after a big clean out higher and a sell. They're going to start washing this. We'd have to watch if we let go of like Globex and VWAPs, etc., etc. We can keep trapping in this area for a while. I want to see VIX here if it reclaims previous day high or not. It's got a gap fill otherwise. We're on an RBS level on VIX, an old high. If it can't hold the RBS, it's got a long way down. Another whole point. No trade setup for me here yet. No alignment, no setup. We did reject that old downtrend and old point control, so just giving it time to settle in. I want to get through to this opening range in 5 minutes and see where we're at. Keep coming into these 920s and finding bids down here. Liquidity is all higher on ES, interestingly. Liquidity is lower on NQ, so divergence there. These 920s look key. 920s, if they sell these, might go straight down to 905s. Feels like they want to sell these. Just going to require some patience. Back down towards Globex then. So far this morning, you got a 71-point opening range. That's what you're in right now. We're just trading back to where we just found bids to come out of this morning. This right here. So 5-day point of control, downtrend, all rejected, back into where we found bids this morning. VIX still not through previous day high. I'm watching that carefully. Slight divergence here in that NQ made a new low of day. ES has not made a new low of day yet. Starting to see NVIDIA really start to sell. Market starting to turn a little bit here. Everything's red other than Meta and Tesla. Here's your Globex. So if they don't bounce here on Globex, then there's a chance we go back down. Obviously got this VWAP underneath. There's a chance we start rotating for the lows and run all this liquidity in here. They're going to have to hold this if they want to make moves higher today. And again, this feels very much like the last week or so. Straight up, straight back down, lack of structure. So selling starting here. Here's VWAP. very, very heavy here on the tape. Short here versus VWAP. See if we can get a little bit of continuation to start the day. There we go. Just joining the momentum as it comes in. Beautiful. Move the stop in and... Why has it flipped me? What the fuck? Someone explain this to me. Oh my God. There's my lead account. And this is what it's done on all the other accounts. Mate. It's not a big deal, the loss, but like, what is that? I went short at VWAP, my lead account, moved my stock down, locking in $351. And on every other account other than my lead account, for some reason, it tried to make me go long. Man, technology drives me mad. That just makes no sense to me. You can see it right here. Here's my lead account. All right, 351, and it flipped all of these into shorts. There's nothing I can do about that. Fucking hell, man. Sorry for my French, guys, but that's just... it's very frustrating. I took the short off as soon as I seen it's flipped me and had to cancel all the other accounts. Yeah, it makes no sense. It literally makes 0 sense when you get trade copiers do that. All right, I need to not go on tilt here. Very pissed off at this point. Previous day low is your low hanging fruit. So I was short here looking for this run back down. Now it's chosen a direction. I'm going to look for some kind of move back up here and see if they sell it. ES into VWAP as well. Oh, gosh. That would have been a really nice, easy start to the week. ES bouncing on VWAP so far. You're seeing more sell pressure come in so far. Remember, they can catch this, go right back to the upside if they want. ES on the VWAP. Can be a sort of morning dip and rip if they want to do that kind of move. See if we can get previous day low hanging fruit. You're going to have to break the orb and break support structure to do that, remember. ES holding VWAP very, very well right now, folks. I think we've got to move lower here potentially if we can get through this structure here. Guys, it's, oh my God, it's flipped me into stuff. I'm not even in. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I didn't even see that. It just kept. Wow. Guys, I can't tell you the damage it's just done on my account here. I'm going to level with you. I don't know what's happened with trade copy or its old orders, but this has absolutely just destroyed me without me even seeing. I cannot believe that. What a start to a Monday. I'm trying to be okay here, but that's hard to take, folks. I'm going to level with you. That's really hard to take when I should be up really nice on a trade, and it's just obviously kept messing up and going worse and worse and worse. Oh my God. I don't even understand it. That's the worst thing when this stuff happens. I don't even understand how that's even possible. JJ, I can't explain what happened. I don't know. I was short in a trade, covering the lows. I should have been up 3,500 a trade with the stop, and it's obviously flipped my position and put me long in every account other than my lead account, which makes no sense at all. And then whatever's happened, it's obviously put me short where I was originally starting to go short, or I don't know, where I've not executed a trade, and it's flipped me again, and now I'm at like max loss for the day. So there's not a lot I can do here, folks. It's absolutely wrecked my accounts. It doesn't even make sense because these are all linked. Look at the difference in all of these. None of this makes sense. All I can think is that there's a trade of 8 issue or a copier issue, but no, I'm not running anti-weight. I'm not, guys. Been trading a long time. I'm not running any kind of virus and any software other than my trading software right here. All right, I'm not new to this. I can raise a complaint. I've done that before. Good luck. Let's put it that way. Oh my God. It doesn't matter what I do now, folks. The damage is done. Damage is done. You think I need a pro computer? What do you think I'm trading on? What do you think I'm trading on? Come on, guys. This is not an issue my computer end. This is an issue server end or copier end. This is not an issue my computer end, folks. All right, so there's the dip and rip like we talked about, holding this old structure right here. I've got to gather my thoughts here. Good news, my PAs is all fine, but everything else, that is a big hit. Oh, well, at least I keep it real, but that is, I don't even know what to say. I'm actually lost for words. That trade, short at VWAP, cover the lows, should have been 40-point trade. Yes, going back to high of day here, looking for previous day close. NQ back inside its range. I can't touch this now. I'm completely on tilt. Completely on tilt after that's happened. Won a great trade, executed perfectly, puts me in the red, and then it's added into a probably where I was trying to. I don't know where it's even added in. It's not even showing order entries on here. All I can hope for is that there's some kind of trade of 8 issue and that I get an email saying everything's being reset. Technology, mate. What should have been a 5, 6, 7 grand day is now a 7 grand in the hole. Fantastic. It doesn't even make sense. None of the accounts are even at the same amount. Yeah, exactly, moneymaker. I'll try. I've tried before, but I know the answer. The answer is all. Unless there's a global outage, we can't do anything. You just have to take it on the fucking chin. Right, they're trying to build this quasi to go back up here right now. On my PAs, I'm probably, yeah, it's about 7 grand down total. On the trade days, they're 1,000 down, which makes no sense because they're trading the same size. So this is how you know it's some form of trade copy or issue. Take profits, 700 on each of those down. No. Folks, I trade on Ninja Trader. I trade direct access. It's nothing to do with that. This is going to be either a trade evade or some form of copy or issue. My lead account is down $300. I didn't even put a second trade on. That says everything you need to know. I'm just gonna, guys, I'm not answering chat for a minute. I need a break. Absolutely frothing right now. Coming back down to Globex here and the view up. See if they build this inverted right shoulder for an attempt higher here. SBY, yes, didn't gap fill. Everything else is gap filled upside. So you have divergence there. I'm not touching my PAs today. I can't be breaking rules if I do at this point. Doesn't matter what happened. I can't do anything. Just got to eat that loss and hope that this is sorted for tomorrow. It sucks, man. It absolutely sucks. Trading's hard enough as it is without issues like this happening. It's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I can see it got me short at 2887. And for some reason, on some of the accounts, it's flipped. It's covered at 8.4 and flipped long and added long. And then covered the bottom and then got short at the bottom. And then covered when I've realized, when I press cancel. I mean, it's just, it makes zero sense to me other than there must be massive lag to do that. Massive. So just stuck sideways now. This was the trade I took, folks, this morning. I waited for this breakdown and I joined under VWAP, trying to attack the previous day low. All right. So I was short here and I was trying to cover some down here to get down here. And for some reason, it's got me long here, long here, long here. I've taken the position off and then it's got me short here. Just like, literally can't make it up. It couldn't have done a worse thing if it tried. It's trying to do that move at the moment, the quasi we talked about. If it gets stuck here, it will rotate to the lows. It's trying to find bids to get upside at the moment. ES looks weaker. Yeah, Trenchy, it doesn't. I don't know if you guys have ever traded with prop on stuff like this. You're not getting your money back unless there's a global outage. I'm telling you, right? Unless there's global outage, no one's going to listen to you. Coop would tell you the same thing. You can argue all you want. Unless there is a global outage, you're not getting any kind of compensation. Exactly. So shite we eat. It's trying to put in a higher low in front of VWAP right now. Market stuck sideways, right in the middle of its opening range. Complete mixed bag. Tesla 1% up, Nvidia 1% down. Meta 0.25% up, Google just about red. Amazon 0.25% up, Amazon almost 0.5% up, Microsoft 0.25% down, Apple 1.61% down. Mixed bag. They're not in alignment. No one's in agreement. We're in chop zone. I went for the low-hanging fruit trade, probably the easiest one of the day. And, well, I got burnt. Not by my own fault, but I still got burnt. It has, Raf. Yeah, it's happened before. Yeah, it's happened before. It's normally a trade copier or a data lag issue with TradeAvate. It's normally one of those two things. But what happens, you trade multiple accounts, your lead account gets you in, the other accounts, for whatever reason that day, have data lag, and then they don't get you in, they take the next order, and then before you know it, you're completely effed. All right, so I put the short on, they probably got long on where my original cover point was or something like that. There's nothing you can do. honestly, when it does this, there is nothing you can do. It's completely out of your hands. That's the one bad thing about using copiers. No, like I said, guys, please, I'm so frustrated. If you keep asking the same questions and not listening, I will just end the chat because I'm on tilt. If I'm explaining to you trying to stay calm and you're going to keep saying the same stuff, we're done because I'm trying to stay calm to stay here for you. Please listen to me. You won't get your money back unless there's a global outage. All right? It's happened before. You don't get your money back unless there's a global outage. Please stop asking the same questions, folks. All right, basing sideways, trying to build that inverse quasi to go higher at the moment. ES is lagging behind massively. SPY just stuck at VWAP. Just nothing happening here. I'm gonna go and get coffee here, folks. All right, Quasi still building here. Back into New York Open, over under area. Quasi still building. ES relative weakness here. SPY not really moving, just flat. Liquidity in the book drying up here. Adding a little bit at 40, 45, 50, but there's not much going on. They want to drag it up for this Quasi, but SPY and ES are not really participating at the moment. Again, market complete mixed bag. Tesla 0.5% green, Nvidia 0.76% red, Meta 1/3% green, Google flat, Amazon 1/3% green, Microsoft 1/3% red, Apple 1.5% red. Here's the Quasi. There's your New York Open. So Quasi is trying to play out. You're just inside range though. Like I said, this is your high low. It's trying to play out to get up here at the moment after failing to take low hanging fruit, which means what? We've left low hanging fruit down here, which is not ideal when you're looking for longs when we haven't taken one side, but hey, that's what it's doing. And the low hanging fruit upside target will be up here. The nicer move would have been like this, down to here, then this after taking it. So we've left both sides. Those in Discord, we went over this in the private lesson on Friday. Same kind of idea. So I'm talking about NQ likes leaving both sides at the moment. It's for a reason that it's leaving it. So M1 chart on NQ. Oh my gosh. Like I said, relative weakness ES. Mixed bag Mag 7. VIX now above previous day high. It's not getting going, but it is just edged above previous day high. ES looks weak here into those deep pullback flow zones. Short here, just on an eval, just scalping. Always move that down to VWAP, covering some there. Just taking some of these losses in half just on evals. Like I said, I'm not going to touch the other accounts. I'm at max loss on those accounts. Probably, I do not know if they went further than 700 down. There's a good chance that they probably did, which means when I put in for this payout, I'm going to get denied and I'm going to have to trade another 8 days, which is fine, but I just want to manage that. Plus, I'm on tilt, so I don't want to do something stupid on accounts which I've worked hard for, you know, some of these I've had for 5 payouts now, so I just need to manage it. I am only human, folks. If you think I can sit here and have tech errors put me 7 grand in a hole when I should be 7 grand up and be absolutely fine, then you're mental. All right? I cannot do that. It is impossible for me to do that. This is a big tilt trigger for me. Like when you lose trades that you have, you should be greening, and then it flips you and puts you red, and then adds to the problem. On, I don't know what you'd even call that, ghost orders, or if they're old orders. I have to have a look. There's nothing I can do at that point. All right, so I'm just mentally, I'm trying to reset, and in the evals, just dig myself out of a hole a little bit. So let's see if we break upside at this point for this quasi above that New York print, and if it does, then we're going to go for previous week close, which will be 57s if we're going to break upside now. And then the opening range high, especially if ES is actually going to finally join him. Above that New York open, looking for a squeeze up at this point. So traded down to the view up, trying to trade upside now. If we can hold, it's got to start holding. I want ES to break out of this little flag it's building. There we go. Come on, ES, get going. Help us out here. Beautiful. Let's get moving then. At least I keep it real, folks. Very rarely will I lose, and very rarely, if I lose, like you would see those in Discord, that very small red days like this are very rare, and this is often why that happens. Out of my control. VIX breaking back down underneath previous day high. QQQ at PDC. SPY trying to get to PDC right now. The other thing, like looking at my losses, I'm like, I'll make that back in 1 good trade or 2 good trades, but it won't be today. It's going to have to be another day. I'll make that back if I stay calm. If I try and force it today, I'll probably compound the issue by not having clarity. But $700 per account is not a big deal. Really not a big deal. So I want to see if we complete this quasi. I'm long in this, looking for the extension, just trying to make some of the money back in my TPT accounts at the moment. That's all I'm trying to do. Coming up from previous week close and the old view up here. Looks good. Monster squeeze at this point. Yeah, totally, JD. Yeah, we expect today, I don't know if you were at the beginning of the day, we expect today to be choppy. And we expect the liquidity to come later on in the week. Totally right. Back into the zone that we rotated from this morning here, folks. keep going. Want them to squeeze out towards that opening range high. Problem is, ES has already almost done the move. I want ES to get to PDC, close that gap for us. And that will drag us up to opening range high. Here we go. Come on. They pull back, they can pull back all the way to that New York Open here. Really shouldn't be this hard to get up here. Trimming some here in case. Extended from float zone, so just don't want to get caught in a flush. Well, there's half the loss gone. That's a start. So if they want to pull back, they're going to pull back to this area here where we just broke out from. Right, so if they're going to pull back, they can pull back to here. If they fail under here, I'd be very cautious because we left this, we didn't take it. And this is just like last week. Get close to one side, leave it, and then run the other side and not expand through this yet. So they've left low hanging fruit here, which means it can be a target if they start to rotate. Trying to see some more aggressive buying coming in here. There we go. Bang. Okay, so opening range high now taken. That quasi played out like we talked about. Right, here's your quasi. Opening range high now taken. Supply is up here on an hourly. We can keep going to 23,000 if it really wants. And then through that, 23, 24s. Nice, Ryan. Good work. Yeah, it was a nice quasi that. Made sense. ES about to fill its PDC. So gap fill. Pretty much done. I took short for a little break down there, turned, flipped back long, added more long in here for reclaim, trimming here, and just want to see if we can get all the way up here at this point. Eight minutes left until the IB will be set. Yes, almost PDC. SPY did PDC, so cash has filled the gap, futures haven't. Still think we've got more juice in here at the moment until ES gets that gap fill. Basically, well, there might be a wall there, 6,300, given that it's a whole number. Can we get up to that? Seller at 23,000, bids down at 70s right now. So you'd need to see them absorb there to get up to 23,000. That's what you'd need to see. Feels like they're going to do it. And then through that, we can keep going. Looking good. Has it got the juice? Over that opening range high. Yes, still not quite filled the gap. Very, very, very close. Make sure you're paying yourself on this move up. Yeah, nice ERF. Made sense, didn't it? There's the quasi, there's your buy signal, there's the trade back up. ES cannot close this gap. It keeps like tapping in front, like a tick or two in front, and cannot close it. It's getting very close. Make sure you're paying yourself some money. We are into that trend line again. H1 trend line. Right here, 1 tap, 2 tap, 3 tap. This is where we found sellers on Friday. We're trading back into that area where those sellers were. So you've got to lock some in here. Still not mentally recovered from what happened to me earlier. It might take a minute for me to trust using copier again now. Stuck at that opening range. ES not filling the gap. Left the gap by a tick. Right, SPY filled the gap. So you had divergence there. We are in H1 supply up here like we talked about. The old point of control here is at 75. So we can't really get a close over that at the moment. Back down to where we broke out from at this point. Like I said, we're in H1 supply. You had to lock some in up there. ES doing what NQ did at the lows, leaving it by a tiny little bit. Still imagine it would want to move higher, but it's not showing the juice to do it right now. Those sellers are coming back in. Rotation starting to happen here on the tape. Back to the flow zones, back to previous week close. Full rotation here, back down to New York. Right here, like we talked about. This is the structure. If it wants to drift into here, it can. It doesn't have to, but if it wants to drift into there, it can. Here it comes into the New York, just like we talked about. There's New York. So full rotation. And again, leaving low-hanging fruit both sides. So this is exactly what we talked about in that class on Friday, the private mentorship class. Literally, you are seeing it play out. When you leave one side, this is what happens. So ES has just left low-hanging fruit by a tick on purpose right here. It's left it by a tick. We've never cleaned out the lows, and the same on NQ. We've left this low by a few points and coming back towards New York Open. Literally everything we went over in that class. Here comes the wash. So ES back down to VWAP here. Mag 7 still complete mixed bag. SPY added its VWAP, letting go of VWAP here. Do they find a bid to drive this back upside? And then what do they do with it? You're New York Open is right here, right now, and they're starting to sell through it at the moment. If it wants to go back for previous day low, it will. I'm telling you. When they leave it like that, it's nasty. Strong selling here on ES. If they pop this up and fail, or if they just do full reclaim at this point as they wash backwards and forwards, you're still just inside the opening range, folks. All right, you're just inside opening range in a choppy area, in a choppy day. We know that. And over all of this pre-market. Retesting New York. This is your key over-under. Remember, anyone who bought the open is now underwater. And remember, VWAP and low of day can go and get tagged if they want to. We can equally hold this structure and go all the way back up, but we are just in an inside wash day. Low hanging fruit left here. Here and here. We drift down, catch a bid, clean out the high, wash down to here, underneath New York Open. If they want to come and do this now, they can. If they want to catch up here to go for this level, they can, because you don't know where the liquidity run is right now, because they have not taken one side out. So they've left both sides. Yeah, Ryan, that would just come with trade time, mate. Don't worry too much. Main thing is that you're locking in money, and that will come with, you know, the longer you're on the screens, the easier that will get. SPY is trying to retest its VWAP. SPY is underneath its VWAP, is retesting it. If it reclaims it, it can put a little squeeze in. If it rejects it, it might go and wash some stops lower. So you are in no man's land right now. One of these accounts now green at least. Go on then, slam it. Okay. So one TPT saved, that green. Here comes VWAP. ES coming into its VWAP as well. Oh, I'm sorry, DK. Yeah, it's really frustrating. I mean, trading is very hard. All right, trading is a very hard skill. What we don't need is external factors making it harder. Like, we can count for volatility, setups, risk reward, all these things. But when we have tech issues, I mean, you just can't plan for it, right? So your risk parameters sort of go a bit out the window. ES founding a bid on VWAP here for now, folks. QQQ the same. New York VWAP is right here. So we're trapped between New York VWAP and New York Open at the moment. Sellers up to 55s at the moment. That's where the sellers are. It really wouldn't surprise me to see this back down of low of day, only because it left it. It's a bit like last Friday, exactly the same thing. We left highs. Where was it? Was it this? Yeah, we left this gap fill. I think it was this. My brain's like dead. I think we left this gap fill by a tick. Yeah, here, and washed down, only to come and fill it later to then sell down. It's like the opposite of that at the moment. I don't agree with that, CC. I think it's very sustainable. It's rare that we have issues like this. I mean, I can't remember the last time I had an issue like this, but they do happen. They do happen. Two big rejections now on the hourly up at those levels, 5-day moving average and downtrend. We break out of those, there's probably a lot of stops now up there if we think about this. We've got shorts here, probably more shorts added here, lots of shorts here. If we do this kind of move, then we can go and run everyone here out. We keep rejecting, maybe this is possible, but I don't think any of these things happen today, by the way. I think these are just building liquidity and setting up for later in the week at the moment. Exactly, Glenn. At least it's profits, especially in this market. This type of market, is nothing wrong with being proactive. I don't think there's anything wrong with being proactive. So do they break down this bear flag through this VWAP to the next VWAP, or do they just catch it and just do a turn and burn through the New York Open? ES protecting its VWAP so far. Still complete mixed bag on the mag. Tesla now just 0.10% up. Meta 0.21% up. Amazon 0.23% up. Everything else red. Market looks like it wants to go green to red to me, as in Tesla, Meta, and Amazon. Nvidia 0.85% down. Google 30% down. Microsoft 30% down. Apple 1.43% down. So bit of a mixed bag here in the market. Another high low put in so far. Still inside that New York Open. That is sort of the do or die level for them. I mean, they can come up and squeeze through that all the way up to previous week close, but you imagine shorts will want it to stay heavy versus New York Open. I'd say a reclaim of New York Open, then a squeeze higher is very, very possible at that point. So they probably will want to hold this underneath 44s, even though the sellers are at 55. Let me just zoom out, see if there's much higher. There's still a seller up 23,000 yet to get filled. You are just inside that opening range still. Trump speaking at 12. All right, thank you. You'd imagine sellers will want to stay heavy here. They will want this move here. If they don't get it, if we start reclaiming this, sellers are going to get stuck trying to front run VWAP. There you go. So these sellers might be about to get stuck here. Like I said, the main seller here is at 55s, and if he starts lifting, this will start moving. VIX doing absolutely nothing, just stuck at previous day highs, not really traded much further than that, like a little bit over, a little bit under, nothing else. SPY reclaiming VWAP. ES is already over its VWAP. QQQ holding VWAP. NQ holding VWAP. Everything's bullish right now. It's just whether they try and make a lower high here on a lower time frame, but so far it's protecting all its stops, right? It's protecting everything since that pivot down here. We've run the highs. Question is, can the sellers come back for these low-hanging fruit lows, or do they get trapped here and squeezed out to go higher? Oh, one more wicket. Man, if we win this, it'd be incredible. Shove it in Siraj's face after how he acted yesterday. All right, looks like they've trapped. They're reclaiming the New York Open, like we talked about. You're seeing a reclaim of that open here. And they're going to try and squeeze higher if they can keep doing this. Shorts, I would have said, even though we can drift high and find a short, I would have said they really would have wanted to keep it under here. It's possible we come up here and sell, but at this point, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, and targets above. You got to think shorts just feel like they're a little bit trapped in this market at the moment. Potential drift higher feels very, very possible here. Here's previous week close. This is probably like the next key level here, whether they can get through this close. Basically, the old gap fill effectively. So if they squeeze through this, would not surprise me to see new highs. ES struggling. It's the one thing. Again, you have no alignment in the mag at the moment, folks. None. Nada. Just watching ES to see if it makes a move first. Finding sellers at previous week close here. They just came on the book and marketed in. They caught them again. So those sellers look like they might have just got caught here. Are we going up to the highs now? Previous week open coming. Feels like we just caught those sellers. They just marketed in on that previous week close and then got caught on the absorption. So in 70 now, the big level. We get through this, we're going to go 990s and then really 23,000. ES definitely weaker. Definitely feels like those shorts just got caught. It really does. Yes, very, very slow to react in the same manner as this, though. So this is probably a fib pullback level of this, I would imagine. So you might see a little tussle here. Man, I cannot get one piece of tech to work for me today. Yeah, into golden zone here of this range. They can hold. They can pull back all the way to 50 and hold it. And if they get break a VWAP, then obviously we go lower. At the moment, it just feels like shorts are a little caught in this at the moment. It feels like the last few days have just like drift high, drift high, drift high. Selling off that fib. ES not really breaking out towards that upside yet. The question is here, do they sell hard or do they retrap here and scoop it? I have no idea at this point, folks, because we are leaving liquidity both sides like we talked about, right? So when we leave liquidity both sides, really lack edge in the market to think about, you know, what else could be possible, if that makes sense. Is this like a dump to retrap and pump? It's possible. It's absolutely possible. It's possible that they get stuck at the fib and sell right back down to previous day low. All of these things are absolutely possible right now, given how they've built and left liquidity. All right. Like ES looks much weaker to me in how it's forming. Much, much, much weaker. Is this going to be first lower high? Not ever confirmed until it does a lower low. That's the issue. You're in range. You're just in the opening range. Nothing's changed. Just the same shitty market we had last week. Until we get out of this, which will probably happen Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yes, looking much weaker like we talked about. Back down towards high time frame algo. If it lets go of that, it's going to go VWAP. NQ will maybe join. Dog. Well, unfortunately, I think there might be some complications, but I don't want to say more on it until I've talked to the vet. Just make your mind up, market. Whatever you're doing, Jesus Christ. All right, are we going? Are we going? Did they trap? Got to go and take out that initial balance high if we're going to do it now. Need ES to join in. This feels like it just wants to go lift off here on NQ. And ES just feels like it doesn't, which makes it fun. Strength in NQ today. Surely at this point it's got to go and take that high. I mean, how are you dangling on the opening range like that? Man, ES is so weak by comparison. Look at this. This is the problem. Trading as a pair. This. It's stuck at that New York Open. And if it cannot do this, it will do this and drag the market down. And the problem is if it does that move and NQ does it, it's got low-hanging fruit. Really, I want it to shoot upside and NQ come and clear out levels, which we're starting to see now, finally. Jesus. Why so hard? Get through it and then just go upside at this point. Yes, still struggling. You think today is going to try and reach all-time highs? Maybe. It's going to have to break out, Miguel, if it does that. Like, there's lots of liquidity to aim for. I would hazard a guess we leave it for tomorrow. If it was going to be my thought, I was thinking we'd probably leave the all-time highs to try and take it tomorrow. But who knows? I mean, who knows? It's what I can imagine happening is sort of, where are we? Here is just this all day. And then that leaves this open tomorrow, and then also this open. But just coffee. Thank you. But who knows, Miguel? That again, that's just my thesis. But you might well be right. If we come and raid all those guys, you might well be right. But I would imagine we'd leave it so that on the CPI print we can go. Yeah, both on 5 day, exactly, Coop. I feel like this just wants to move higher at this point, but it is struggling to get going. Like 23,000's on the book. You got to think they want to go 23,000. Like, surely you just want to go 23,000. Doesn't it make sense to go 23,000 at this point? Just go 23,000. There's your initial balance high. Really, you're going to get that close and not take it? Come on. Thank you. We're going to get that close and not take the high. Are you kidding me, NQ? Is this your game all day for the next however long? Come on. This is insane. We were literally a tick away from running stops there. What I would say is this is the third drive. But again, if you're thinking short, surely you want them to clear out the high first, clear out the liquidity before you think short. Again, NQ not willing to do that. It's not playing ball. It's like, no, we're just going to leave that liquidity to make it really hard. If we die down here, we're going to make it really hard for you to have an edge in the market. All the liquidity is up higher right now. 990, 995, 23,000. They're all on the book. 2310 on the book. 2317 on the book. 2330 on the book. This is going high. It wants to go higher. It's just playing games to get there. Here it goes. Here's the attempt at the initial balance high again. Come on. Yay! Woo! Finally did it. Well done. That was hard. All right. Are you going to go any further? Are you going to go for 23,000? It's on the book. It is on the book. They're there. They want to get taken. This is where the liquidity is. It wants to pump up there. It wants to clean out that liquidity. Same story all day. as we had last week. Just slow absorption. And every push up, they're selling a bit. So there is profit taking constantly, but there is slow absorption on the tape all day. Initial balance high now taken though, folks. 23K, next level, psychological level. ES not taking out as high yet. So you have divergence on the tape. There is divergence on the tape. I think the only thing I'm proud of today is that I've not touched my PA accounts after hitting that loss. It was always tempting at that point to try and make it back, but I haven't. I've just left them, just like, nope, I'll trade some evals, but I am too tilty to make good decisions on money that I've made. And I know I need a good sleep, and I can come back tomorrow, and there's damage done, but it's really not that bad. It's one good trade, three okay trades. It's not that bad. I can make this up in a few days, if not one day. So that is the only thing I'm happy with today. I'm absolutely fuming with what happened to me. But I guess it's the risk of trade copying and trading props. It happens. Having said that, I mean, it used to happen to me on small caps. Not quite the same, but like, I remember countless times on Trade Zero being on a trade, and then data went out, and you'd wake up 5, 6, 7, 10 grand in the hole, and them taking no responsibility. So doesn't make a difference really. There's always some tech issue. If you're playing retail, you're always in some issue. Okay, still think 23,000 here, and then through that 10, 15, 20s, and then previous day high all the way up at 50s. And then if we do that, we are starting to break out here. Maybe Miguel might be right. All right, so this is a liquidity level we're looking at up into these guys. If we shove these guys, force them to stop out, we trade into this old Asia high at 50s. If we trade that, we're going to trade for these pivots at 90s. We're starting to break this downtrend at this point. You can see this curling pattern on the bottom. All right, we've got this. This is the move I played for this morning. And then we're trying to trade back upside at this point. So it's getting aggressive now. There's the 23,000 like we talked about. Can we keep squeezing through this at this point? Previous day open up here as well, folks. ES finally closed its gap. Okay, so ES 5-day and PDC, it has finally closed its gap. So if that is all it wants to do today, that can be it. If its aim was gap fill, that can be it. Good thing is that you know how to get it back, and we'll do so. Yeah, I've just, I was snappy earlier. You would have heard it in me. I see some of you saying, I've never seen Alex this annoyed. Well, how many times have you seen me take a trade where it puts me the opposite side? You've got to remember, I was short in my lead account, and 14 accounts went long. I mean, this is unprecedented. So yes, I got very tilty and snappy and annoyed and all those things. And once that happens, I cannot trade, or definitely can't trade PA accounts. The temptation is to be like, I'm going to make all that money back in one trade. I'm going to show this market. I'm going to do this. And you can't, especially when it's a tech issue. What if I took that same trade and then compounded it, and suddenly I'm, $15,000 in a hole, and I'm eating into, like, some of these accounts now are under buffer, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to take my time building them back up again. I do everything by paper. All right. I trade everything by paper. I've always liked doing it this way. So if I'd locked in today, that would have been my 4th winning day with 2 flips. So 4, 5, 6. So I would have need 1 small winning day and 1 flip day, and I would have taken another 10 grand out of the market this week. That's not going to happen now. I would imagine I went over $700 loss. Well, these have locked in 709, so that's already over. So I think I will probably have to put a payout request in and get denied now. Unfortunately, it's just how it is, because they're going to say I went over the maximum loss, and they would be right. I have, so I can't do anything about it. Like, did I mean to? No. Did I execute a bad trade? No. But am I over 700 loss? Yes. Here we go. Here's the 20s now, folks. All right, so we're going for previous day high at this point. So you will see all my accounts get denied probably in the next payout request. It's just how it is. It's all right. It just means I'm going to have to trade. This will be day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I trade 2 more days. I've got to get them to pay out. So it might take me a little bit longer, and maybe another week or so. Get them to pay out, get denied, and then trade another 8 days. Unfortunately, it's just how it is. It's annoying. It's really annoying. It sets me back basically another 8 days of payout plus the rest. So it's probably set me back about 15 days total. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? All right, so hitting into the supply, you can see it right here. Did we sweep that liquidity? Yes, we did, or we at least did double top. So right here, see these right here, double top there. So I think we'll still come back for more. We want to clean those guys out and then run higher. Remember, NQ has fulfilled its obligation of filling its gap. So you're thinking about auction versus failed auction at this point. You would like to see auction because it feels fairly clear that the liquidity is above that it wants to aim for at the moment. So you'd like auction theory to play out higher at this point. Sorry. So you want it to flag and go here above the initial balance or at the initial balance. Needs to reclaim tens. Is it tens? 8s, 10s, something around that. Reclaim that, probably get another little squeeze up. So there's sellers at 10s, 20s, 25s, 30s at the moment. Here we go. Come on, off you go. If you're going to do it, you've got to reclaim the 10s. They're trying to build that flag to go like we talked about. Here's the approach of 10s. Key level here. Yes, looking weaker by comparison. Here we go. Up you go. Up you go. Why was 10s important? Just basic S&R. This candle high is where we broke down from. That was trigger point for shorts. So this is trigger point for squeeze. And now we're going for this. There you go. So auction theory is what you want to play out, like we talked about. Holding flow zones, everything holding flow zones. You need a break of this high for longs to be in the money to get up here. I don't know if I've shown the best example of trade. I'm sure I have my thoughts. I'm sure other people would have gone through what I've gone through today and been absolutely fine about it. If you look at my trigger points, I know what my trigger points are. I'll say it time and time again. Too many break-even trades in a row, tech issues. That's it. Major trigger points for Alex. You want to put Alex on tilt, that's what you need to do. Taking losses, not a trigger point for me. It's not about the losses. It's about how the loss happens. So chomping through this supply, red dotted line above is previous day high. That's where it wants to go. You will need ES to break out a 5-day and PDC and IB. Oh, the mental game of trading. It's flipping horrible, isn't it? It is horrible. We did just about take that liquidity at 23.20, folks. So just be a little careful. I still think we can go higher, but I'm just saying, like on that high time frame, that first target here, we did just take it. Next target will be here, which will be basically 50. And if we get through that, you're looking at this week high 90. And if you get through that, then you get Miguel's target, which is all-time highs. Oh, it's really hard looking at my screen. It's far down in the red. Fucking hell, mate. Ah! Nice, Andrew. Good work, mate. Lovely work. Andrew, what type of account are you trading at the moment? What firm, and are you straight to funded, or are you eval, or you making money now? Still holding here. Initial balance holding, 23,000 holding. ES looks like it's potentially building for a flat top break. This still has low hanging fruit at previous day high if it wants to get going here, folks. So we just watch this internal low. If they start reclaiming here, then I think there's a good squeeze chance up towards 50s. Buyers are on the tape at 92s. You've got sellers on the tape 25, 30s, and 50s. Here you go. Starting to go. So joining this long. Again, I'm being very proactive and protective today, given what I've gone through this morning, but take my money when it's there and try and, I'm not trading my PAs again. I want to make that clear. I'm not trading my PAs after what happened to me this morning. Not willing to do it. Cannot compound it. I want to see this hold 23,000. I was not interested. We'll cut and watch how we work our way around initial balance. If we fade initial balance, then we're going to go into an IB rotation day. Right, so if we fail this, just remember, if we fail this level here, we fail this level here and get stuck, there's view up, view up, view up. If we fail that and come down towards lows, we still left this here, these low-hanging fruit trades. At the moment, though, I'm kind of thinking we're going to trap to go up here. That's what I'm trying to look to see if we want to do. I'm going to check on my dog. I'll be right back. Man, India might beat us here. We can't bowl out Siraj. We are in trouble. They need 30 to win. Crazy. It still looks like it's building to go higher. It feels like it's trapping to go higher. Maybe it needs one more wash and trap, but that's what it feels like to me. Yes, looks a bit weaker here. Can't get through its initial balance 5-day. I did feel its gap for PDC. It's just the question is, does ES want to get to previous day high, or does NQ want to get to previous day high, or is ES dictating the show today? All of the mag now green other than Apple. Potential targets up here if we get going. They might need to trap first, but this level here, key. They've tapped once, they tap again and go, or have they got enough caught already? Still liquidity, 325, 330. For the upside move. I'm talking about where the sellers are, passive sellers on the book. Delta still looks good. Nice, Coop. Good work, buddy. Yeah, I saw that. Just a RBS, nice and clean. Take the money, get off the charts. Good for you, dude. Beautiful. Can they flag to get up here at this point? 5 minutes starting to look pretty ugly up here at the moment, I would say. 5, 10, 15. As long as we protect IB, it's got a chance, but it's starting to look ugly. Those long wicks on the 5 minutes. And ES just getting stuck over and over and over and over again. QQQ, by the way, has taken previous day high. So again, massive divergence in terms of ETF cash market versus futures market. Big seller here. Do they absorb him again at 23,000? Starting to go sideways. Not a good look when we go sideways like this. Not a good look. Low hanging fruits taken, I guess, on QQQ taking previous day high. Still think NQ can have a shove up if it wants it today. You're gonna need ES to break out of that top that is put in this morning. Traded for 50k eval. I took a little while off for the trip and then I was sick. Oh yeah, you said you were sick. Sorry to hear that, mate. We're probably due a catch up in a minute. Check the liquidity on ES. Is it higher or not? That's the problem on ES. You've got bids, passive bids, like 400 lot basically sitting down at 96 to 94. And the upside, you're looking at 305s, 317s, but it needs to come lower to pick them up. So that's the problem. ES wants to go the other way to NQ at the moment. How many times have we talked about that recently? How many times? There's your 23,000. If they let go of this, I can imagine ES drifting all the way down into like 93s and 92s, regardless of what's on the book, just the structural wise. And if it gets down there, you're going to be a problem because you're halfway then into the initial balance. So you need to see this really hold these levels for a squeeze out. If they can't do that, I'd consider like just leaving it alone for the rest of the day because your high probability trades are probably gone at that point. Doesn't look good here. Market getting stuck here like we talked about. ES is trying to break out of that high. It's got a flat top high. It needs to break out of it, and it can't. At 63,000, I would guess it's like an options level as well. It's desperately trying, and now they're going in the opposite directions. Yes, ready to make the move now while NQ is moving down toward its low of this little 5-minute range. That is hilarious. They're literally just gone in the opposite directions. Oh, hilarious. Has Nvidia just gone green to red again? Let me have a look at this. Nvidia looks all right. Tesla, weak. Meta, trying to base above IB high. Google, VWAP doing nothing. Amazon, VWAP doing pretty much nothing. Doesn't look great though. Microsoft, initial balance high, retest. Apple, trying to get through its VWAP to the upside. Stuck so far. Yes, trying to break out. It wants a clean breakout above that 6,300. That's what ES needs to break above and go and clear out. Not just like pop up and fail, which it keeps doing. So on a 5-minute, or sorry, 2 minutes, been up here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Here's another attempt at it. You need to see it clean out. There it goes. Now it's cleaning out. Now, can it base above? Will NQ play catch up here? Can ES base above this level now? They traded up to 0150, 0150 again here. It's amazing that NQ is not even attempting anything. 0150s, 0125s. No follow through yet in ES. It's probably waiting for NQ to join the party here, if it joins the party at all. 0150 again. I'm going to have a look at the book on ES. ES should trade up to 05s, 0525. NQ probably wants 25s, although it looks a bit thin where we are right now. Doesn't look very good. So again, divergence. ES making a new higher day. NQ not making a new higher day. This is fun, isn't it? More divergence. And by the way, VIX has done absolutely F all today other than go sideways. So grindy, 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 grindy. O150s. Pullbacks need to hold here on ES into like that 6,300. Really, you want 6,350 to hold, but 6,300. Any hold of that and a squeeze higher, you should see NQ trying to take out higher day at that point. There's O2s, O225s, O275s. Come on, NQ, you should be trying to get up to 23.25 here. Come on, NQ. Come on, NQ, you're so slow. O275, stuck again on NQ. NQ not wanting to join the party right now. You need Nvidia to go red to green and Microsoft to go to red to green. Apple in a sell at the moment. Let me check Apple again. Apple trying to get through VWAP, so it might get going here. Here we go. God, that took forever. Come on, NQ. Get up towards 25s. No juice. Still building. It wants to get up here. It needs to take this out to do this move. ES trading higher day. 04s now on ES. Like we said, ES target on the book is 05s. All right, looking for NQ to get up here and then through here to 50. Looking at ES to take out, oh, it's nice, got a bidder just come in. To take out 05s, then 09s. After that, there's not much on the book. There's O5s, tagged O5s now. They're filling O5s here on ES. NQ still not breaking out high day. So there you go. If you're trading ES, you just got your tag, 6,305. So that's what we're talking about. Very clear level on the book. He was sat there to get filled, and he just got filled. This supply block so far holding up pretty well. NQ having a new reapproach. Can it get up to previous day high? Can it get through 25s to get up to previous day high? That's the question that we're posing to the market currently. Still looks pretty good, like it wants to do it. Big sell, market sell there. Watching this buyer at O2, he's trying to absorb it. If he pulls, then we go to 990s. He's left. They're playing games at this point, and he's flipped back to the sell side, same size. Yeah, they're playing games here. It's 23,000. Check again. If they sell this, they go 990s. 990s is on the book. 990s and 980s are where the buyers are. Seller just left at 320s. Not a good look. So again, divergence where ES took out the highs, NQ did not. NQ coming back to those 990s, which is the initial balance. All right, it's the initial balance. And again, if we fail those, then you are open to a failed auction above 990 for a rotation. Built lots of liquidity up here now. Be very careful if it starts failing that initial balance. QQQ on the cash market cannot get a base over PDH, by the way. And that might be a big issue here for the futures market. Just trading around those 23,000s for now. ES trying to build out a flag here again, but I'm not convinced just looking at the liquidity on the book. All the liquidity on ES is down below right now for a pullback, and up higher is at 08s and 09. So where we're trading on both the ES and the NQ looks a bit thin. NQ, we've got some buyers at 95, 92, 90, and 80. Seller now at 05, just come on the book. And he pulled straight away to 12. So they're playing a lot of games here. I'd be very, very careful from now into lunch. This is a couple players just jostling with each other at the moment. Not really interested in trading around while they're doing this. They're moving the market to areas that they want to pick up liquidity, and I'm not convinced which way they want to do it. Yes, trying to build that flag still. Yes, weak, back down to 5-day. So they've swept 5-day, absorbed 5-day. Now can they go? Is this enough of a trap? You can see the jostling back and forth on the book, and it's thin. Look how thin we get as we trade down and we thin out. Nothing in here right now. So the orders are all up here and all down here, which is why I'm not interested. And you're going to see they start flashing orders and then pulling and flashing and pulling. Playing a lot of games right now. And they're stacked both sides, and these are 10 points away, 20 points away. It's trying to build that flag. It's trying to build that flag to get up to previous day high. Nice from ES. Looking stronger here from ES. Back into those 05s again. Flow zones holding above initial balance. Potential flag continuation play here up towards previous day high. If they let it through, if they don't play any more games, which they are playing a lot, just looking at the book. I can hear my wife on the phone to the vet, so just bear with me, folks. I'm just going to go in. Team, I'm really sorry. I've got a bit of an emergency with my pup, so I'm going to go to the vet now. And those in Discord will jump on later when I'm back. All right. Really, really sorry to shut the stream down a little bit early. It's only 10 minutes early. Tough day for me, given what happened. You're probably not missing a lot. Nothing's changed here, going sideways at supply, above initial balance high. So if you're trading this long, you really need this to hold, and you maybe need a trap and this. If you see failure under here and it gets stuck, then you're looking for a rotation. VWAP, VWAP, low time frame algo, New York. And if we get really heavy, low of day into previous day low and initial balance. All right, so there's your channel. All right, for everyone that's staying here. Yeah, exactly. Definitely praise for Luna. And yeah, we'll speak tomorrow, folks. Sorry about that today. Take care.